There's a lot of interesting things happening in the CS market right now. For starters, in just 2 days, the limited edition item is going to be replaced in the Armory Pass shop, and a lot of people are speculating if the whole shop is going to be replaced or not. Today, I'm going to give some rationale towards that and just the rest of the market right now because the market is blowing up if you guys haven't noticed. Stop what you're doing immediately because SkinSwap is giving you guys a free CS2 skin worth up to $150. SkinSwap is a trading site where you could also buy, trade, or even sell your skins for instant cash for methods including Venmo, PayPal, and crypto. All you gotta do is click that link at the top of the description or type code incompetent and start by getting your free skin today. Now, the first interesting thing that I want to talk about that's kind of snuck up on people and it doesn't feel like it's happened, but in the last 30 days, we've pretty much reached the average player count that we had during the initial CS2 hype, almost. This is 1.1 million, this is 939, but when it comes to peak players, 1.74 million, and we got to 1.8 during those peaks in May 2023. So we're really close, actually, and the Armory Pass presumably has gotten a lot of people grinding the game or just on at a single time so they could grind out their stars and get their money from that. So it's great for the game. Now, another thing kind of relating to that is since there is so many players right now, the prices of pretty much everything have blown up. We'll start with some cases. If you own cases, you've been sitting on cases over this past month, you are in a good spot because a lot of them have jumped up like 20% at least. You could go through a lot of these. I haven't even checked most of these, so I'm seeing these for the first time now as well. Chroma 3 case from $3 to selling at like $4. Wow, that fluctuates a lot, but everything has jumped up in price massively, like 20% in the cases at least, and of course, we should look at the skins as well. Now, normally when it comes to the skins increasing, for a long time, a lot of like super expensive stuff, like your Marble Fades, your Dragon Lures, Pandora's Boxes, stuff like that, the super expensive stuff wasn't moving in price and was going down because all of that stuff blew up when CS2 first initially released. Now, that sort of has changed in the past 30 days because now everything is blowing up. You could see, past 30 days, everything pretty much is green except for some random miscellaneous stuff. But obviously, geez, the market is going crazy. And even with the high tier stuff, you're seeing it up for the first time in a very long time because all of that stuff was just sort of consolidated, not moving in price, and now it's finally up. And this is, of course, Price Empire if you guys want to check the prices for yourselves. This is not something you normally see, where everything, including the phase 2s, which were down for a long time because they blew up so quickly, are up as well. Everything in the market is up right now. You could just see all the green. So it is really good to see. Obviously, if you own skins right now, if you want to sell them, it wouldn't be a bad idea. You'd be up a lot of money probably. But the other thing I want to talk about in this video is what's going to happen with the Armory here. Now, once again, a lot of people kind of speculated the whole thing is going to get swapped out for new stuff, and I think that would be the smart idea. From Valve's perspective, from just people buying new passes, you would get way more people buying new passes if you swapped out everything. I think it would be a great idea. Does that mean Valve's going to do it? Of course not. But we do know the Deagle at bare minimum is going to get switched out. And one of the many reasons I think they should switch out the whole Armory instead of just the Deagle is because there's already so many of the skins in the Armory and keychains and everything else. There's just a lot of stuff. There's 17,600 M4 Fades. What's supposed to be the rarest item in pretty much the whole thing along with the other two reds, there's a lot of them. People have gotten a lot of them from the Armory. And for comparison, the Op Fade, there's only 11,000, and that thing has been traded up to for a long time at this point. And obviously, you could get it from the old Operation Shop, and relatively, there was a lot of them back then. So I think as of now, there's just, I mean, you could still buy the Armory Pass, and I made a video on this already. It's so profitable if you do it, and you mostly get the missing links charms, or sorry, either one of the charms or the stickers. You could play it safe, get either one of those, and you're probably still making a profit. But that doesn't mean people are going to keep buying these and grinding them out because it's just kind of boring and people probably want new stuff. And people obviously aren't going to be buying the pass instead of just like buying an M4 Fade, for example, because that thing has crashed in price because there is so many of them. And I think if you just remove these from the game from Valve's perspective and you swap everything out, you're going to get way more people buying Armory Passes. I don't think just swapping out the Deagle is going to make a ton of people get the new Armory Pass. They're just going to buy the skin probably. But something I do want to talk about when it comes to the Deagle skin specifically, or whatever rare skin we're going to get next, if the Steam market would load for me, is what exactly is going to happen with the price of this thing. This factory new Deagle is $64. Oh my god, this thing is must have blown up in price. It was like 20, it's like tripled in price from the beginning. It moved around a lot. But that's something I want to talk about here, is the price action of the Deagle. And you could see it kind of varies a lot. At the beginning, you had them super rare the first day they were tradable because obviously certain people want to buy them. If you just wait a day, they're way cheaper, and then they bounce around for a bit before finding their bottom, which is technically way too low in price, and then they get bought up as, more people actually want to buy the Deagle. Now, I think we're going to see a super similar thing with whatever item gets added to the game next. It's going to be super expensive the very first day, as very few of them are tradable. It's going to crash down in price. It's going to get super cheap over the next, 2 weeks or so. And then, yeah, you could probably make some profit over the next few weeks as, more people want to get them. And obviously, there's less people finishing the Armory Pass as more time goes on because people just finish them and don't buy another. So there's going to be more demand and less supply, which causes them to go up in price. Now, that's presumably if it's even a half-decent skin. It should be a good skin with good patterns like the Glock Gamma Doppler we had before that Emeralds. I would like to see them do a Gamma Doppler. I think that would do super well, and I think it would be pretty expensive. So what I will say with this is if they get super cheap, once again, just to kind of relatively compare the price, this is $10 worth of stars. The Armory Pass costs $16. 25 stars is $10. So sort of use that as a base as to what this thing should be worth. Obviously, the factory new Deagle is worth way more. If it is a Gamma Doppler, there's only going to be factory new and minimal wear conditions. So we'll kind of see when that happens. But if something becomes worth $2 and it costs 25 stars, it's going to go up in price. These got to be way too cheap despite there being a ridiculous amount of them. So if they get super cheap, once again, you could stock up on them when they're $2 and probably make a quick flip, which I pretty much never recommend to do in CS, but when things get super cheap, there is the option to do it. Also, for whatever new item comes in the game, obviously there's going to be way less of them than the Deagle, I assume, unless they switch out the entire shop, which, I don't think they're going to do, but who knows. And I don't know, that's going to be good. I think it's going to be a lot more expensive than the Deagle since there's going to be way less of them, but there's definitely going to be a chance for profitability. So we'll see whatever item comes in next and what it's being listed at. We only got 2 days for that, but the market's doing really well right now, and hopefully they switch out the whole Armory Pass. Also, just to kind of visualize how much the expensive stuff has gone up in price recently, there was this huge, this chart doesn't go back all the way, but there was this huge run up in price with the initial CS2 hype, and then pretty much everything crashed back down to relatively levels where it was at before. Like this is the Karambit Doppler right here. Ran up for a long time and then pretty much went sideways from the middle of 2024 to the end of it. There was no price action. And then just recently, Karambit Dopplers jumped $100 in price. So it's been pretty crazy over the past month. And obviously, this is not a chart that looks like a skin where you want to sell. I think people are always going to be willing to pay more expensive prices for the expensive skins in this game. As, they're pretty easy to sell at this point. It's not really a hard process. You could always sell stuff for cash. So I still think the market's fine. I've held on to pretty much everything I had. Dragon Lore, Karambit Doppler, Karambit Marble Fade. I've held on to all of it, and it's still paying off. So these are still good investments, and it's still worth holding on to your CS skins, especially the cheaper stuff as well. But yeah, as for now, I'm still just scrolling through this price empire and looking at the insane price action over the past month. You never see stuff up this much in price, and I think the Armory is going to be really good for the game and really good for the market because it's going to keep people playing. As we could see, there's been a huge jump up in player count as well, and that is great for prices as well. Things kind of died down in the early 2024 days, late 2023, but they're back, and I think they're going to stay at this level for a long time. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out the sponsor with that link at the top of the description, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.